I went through almost 2 to 3 years of struggle within myself, deciding whether we should create her or not, whether we should manifest her or not. Create is the wrong word. Whether we should manifest her or not, because I thought I shouldn't cater to that aspect. Let somebody else do it. I should cater to only those people who want to become one with everything. Those who are seeking ultimate liberation, not those who are seeking to walk a little better. Then I saw there were so many people who can't walk straight. Then I said, okay, after 2, 3 years of struggle within myself, I decided we'll consecrate and manifest this form of energy. But she still has two sides. What is significant for me? For most people, that's not what they want. So right now, we created a coin which will fall only one way. It's weighed in such a way, it's a loaded dice, it'll fall only one way, your way.
She is the space which holds the three fundamental forces in the existence. So all of them hugely exhale, letting out the best of what they are. These three forces merged and became the feminine or the Devi.
If you're in touch with Devi, energies turning negative for you doesn't happen. The chances of you getting messed up because of some other energy or something should be completely out of your life. That Devi will take care of.
Ramanujam wrote mathematical theorems a little over 100 years ago. Nobody could decipher what they are. Even on his deathbed, he sat down and simply poured out mathematics. People asked, where is this coming from? He said, my Devi. All I do is appeal to my Devi and it just pours out for me.
The word Devi comes from the word Div. Div means the space.
If you connect with her, she will empty you. You don't worry about how to empty myself.
The Devi temple, this has been what is called as Devi Kantakalam. That means this is a way of enhancing Devi's influence. In the coming years, you will see the blast of Devi will be much stronger.
They had three stellar qualities within them, but they found these three qualities are not enough. They understood a combination of these three qualities were needed. So all of them hugely exhaled, letting out the best of what they are. And these three forces merged and became the feminine or the Devi. Physical science expressed in a very beautiful, dialectical, personified stories for the same fundamental forces which make creation happen. This force, which we refer to as Devi.
But you must connect. What is connecting? Whenever you're little shitty, I mean fearful, Bhairavi Devi, Bhairavi Devi. Now, that's not the way to handle this. This is, if you really want to be with that, you must make it a part of your breath, on and on and on and on. Not necessarily by saying the mantra, simply because I think this is coming from people who have the yantras at home. Well, she's exuding a certain level of energy. Well, there are fools who've taken the yantra and they think their neighbor's yantra is better than theirs. No, you need to clear your eyes. See if you can bring everything to a certain stillness. No need to stare at something, no need to concentrate, no need to take away your thoughts, no need to think about this and that, nothing. Simply sit still, just like that. You will see how much nonsense you're making up all your life. So there is nothing to empty, it's just fluff. If you are doing the process with the Devi yantra, well, she'll burn through the fluff effortlessly. If you need a sound going with you, chant the mantra, stuti or something, not when you think you need. You must do it when you don't need. That's what is most important.
Yes, it is a fact that the worship of the divine in the feminine form was hugely prevalent in the present-day Europe, Arabia, Central Asia, all these places. But it has managed to live only in this part of Asia still. In other places, it's been violently uprooted. In some way, when a woman displays, she's capable of doing something or knowing something beyond childbearing and cooking. She's a witch. Yes, that's how it was. So generally, the Devi temples always spawned women who are capable of other things. Right now we are breeding a new culture of Bairaginis and Devi sadhakas. The idea is to not just have red devils walking around in the ashram. The idea is, slowly divinity walks around. They may take their time, but gradually to produce what you considered as divine, which you enshrine, must live with legs. So, the divine feminine has been uprooted simply because the Abrahamic way of religious process is purely male-oriented, it's completely masculine. There is no room for feminine to be anywhere there. It's God and His Son, it's God and His messengers, all male messengers, never female, because they're not reliable. They may say something else, because they may know something else, that's the problem.
If you're in touch with Devi, either in the form of yantra or in whichever way, the yantra is in your hands or it's in your heart, it's up to you. Once you are wrapped in the energy that we are referring to as Devi or Bhairavi, after that, energies turning negative for you doesn't happen. If you just make sure you are eating the right kind of food, you're keeping your system well, the chances of you getting messed up because of some other energy or something should be completely out of your life. That Devi will take care.
If you're truly meditative, don't even bother about occult. Such things will have no influence on a person who's truly meditative.
The Linga Bhairavi has been consecrated with 3 basic chakras. This man has all the 7. She has only 3 chakras to represent these three dimensions of tamas, rajas and sattva. Tamas is the nature of the earth and she's the one who gives birth. The gestation period that we spend in the womb, our womb time, is tamas. It's like a state which is almost like hibernation, but it's growing. So tamas is the nature of the earth, of your birth. The moment you come out, then you start activity. Rajas begins. If you are aware enough or fortunate enough, sattva will touch you. Otherwise, the color of rajas, it's good as long as the going is good. When the going gets bad, rajas is going to be super bad. So what was absolute inertia now has become a dynamic rajas. This may transcend or may again go back to the same thing. Durga Lakshmi, Saraswati never happened. That means you are in the cycle, you're in the trap of life and death, life and death, life and death. Transcendence is yet to come. So these two will anyway happen. What is in a state of inertia will get into a state of rajas and activity, and again fall back and become inertia for a certain period of time, and again get back into activity. This is happening to you as an individual, this is happening to the planet, this is happening to the galaxy, this is happening to the whole cosmos. It goes into a state of inertia and then becomes dynamic and again goes into a state of inertia. But the important thing is, this one has the capability to break the cycle and transcend. So these 3 dimensions of the Devi are enshrined in the form of Bhairavi. You must be able to draw these 3 dimensions of existence and sustenance for yourself, because you need all these 3. The first 2 are needed for your survival and well-being. The third is an aspiration to go beyond.
The Devi temple, this has been what is called as Devi Kantakalam. That means this is a revitalization or a way of enhancing Devi's influence over people and power. Her power is being enhanced right now. In the coming years, you will see the blast of Devi will be much stronger.
There is not a single village in entire India without a Devi temple. And when I went to Somnath temple, it was destroyed 17 times over by a certain kind of warlord from Afghanistan. 17 times he makes this trip, which is over probably 1500 kilometers. He makes this trip just to destroy this temple. First time I can understand because there was wealth, there was gold and stuff. All right, he looted it, destroyed it, burnt it down and went. Why come second time? Maybe little more wealth. But after that, there was no wealth because people just put up small things. But he came 17 times and destroyed. So I was inquiring, what is it? The thing was, those 3 goddesses that they talk about in Arabia, pre-Islamic era, one of those goddesses, one of the deities, some devotee carried it from there and established it in the Somnath temple as a consort of Shiva. So they wanted to destroy that goddess. So the guy makes a 1400 kilometer trip 17 times on a horseback to destroy her. That is how important it is to destroy a woman in this world. That's how important it is.
What is below 12?
belongs to Devi. Oh, Shiva's got more numbers? No, that's not how it is. No, because there are some feminists. This is ultimate feminism where a woman and all the processes of her body are worshipped, not seen as high and low. Why 11 is… Probably this is not yet well established in the modern sciences, but in the yogic science, the material dimensions of the world, the material dimensions of creation are in 11 dimensions. Everything that's material is 11. If it moves to the 12th dimension, it starts dissolving into becoming non-material or non-physical in nature. So what is beyond 12 is Shiva's realm. Shiva means that which is not. So beyond 12, it is no more physical, it is that which is not. What is below 12 is 11, so this is that which is. So Devi is consecrated in a way that everything that we do with her is 11. You see, even her Trishulam is at 11 o'clock. We are located at 11 degrees latitude. All these things have fallen well together. The way space and time is conceptualized in the form of material manifestation of creation, even in modern science, is moving towards… theoretical physics is moving towards clearly saying there are 11 brains or 11 membranes or 11 universes or trans-universes. Beyond that is non-physical dimensions. Still there is existence, but not particular in nature, not material in nature. The deepest trench that you find in the oceans of this world is 11 kilometers, because the design of what happens in the creation is based on certain fundamentals. One thing manifests in one way, everything else is related to that. There is something called as a constructional theory that they have gone into these days. The design of an atom and the design of the cosmos are same. The fundamental design of an amoeba and that of a human being is the same. Only the complexity and sophistication has multiplied many-fold over, so it looks so different, but fundamentally it is the same thing. So because of this, in the material world, so many things hang around number 11, because that is the dimension we are representing as Devi. To find success and victory in the material world, if you transit from this, go into 12, we are only thinking of mukti, that is being liberated from the material world. I always feared when I consecrated 11 years ago, and that day itself I said, I have a fear in my heart that she will become more popular than him. It is happening already because we don't want people to be more focused on material victory than ultimate victory in their lives.
Because if you empower the feminine, then all the silly laws, ideologies, laws of heaven and nonsense that you've created, all that will collapse. I will not go into the mechanics of how it'll collapse, but think through this. Suppose you accepted a woman as a god, suddenly going somewhere and living well will go away, because that's not the nature of the feminine. It is always masculine. He wants to go somewhere and then live well, at least to another place in this country or another continent in this planet or another galaxy or another dimension called heaven, paradise, whatever you want to call it. This is a man's thing, he wants to go somewhere and then live well. He can't live well here, this is his problem. This is a huge masculine problem, that he cannot live well here. If you look at the male and female, you will see the feminine always wants to settle down, wherever little comfort, settle down and live well. Man wants to climb the mountain and settle down on the other side. This side of the mountain is not okay for him. So, if you made a male god and a female god and they were together like Shiva, Parvati something, you will not want to go anywhere. Even Shiva settled down in Kashi because of Parvati. He's a wanderer, but during the winter months after he got married, he found she was finding it very difficult to be in high altitude in Himalayas. For her sake, he came down to Kashi, but then he also started liking it so much. For a long time, he did not go back. So, feminine always brings settling down. Masculine wants to propel somewhere. That propelling, too much propelling. We need some propelling, of course. Too much propelling is causing enormous destruction on all levels of life.
So Devi's color is red because she gives away red. Red means, if you're walking in the forest, it's all green, but there'll be one spot of red somewhere, one red flower blossoming.
That draws your attention because in your perception, red is the most vibrant of all the colors. All other colors may be pretty, good, nice, but red is vibrant, vibrant.
Sindoor, you must understand, the important thing is that it is turmeric. That is, it's properly made. If you take the sindoor from the Devi, it's made of turmeric. If you buy elsewhere, it's a chemical powder, and it is also the color of the Devi always, not just here, always. Once a woman is married, she was referred to as a Devi. It was very common. In our families, my grandmother and others were always referred to as Devi by her husband, always, to recognize that there's an element of divine.
Of all the colors, red is the most vibrant color and feminine represents that. Whether you like it or not, there is a longing in a woman to be like a flower because nature has given that possibility for her. So, when we say flower, the first thing that comes into most people's mind is always red. A red flower is always the real flower. Other things are on the way. Red is vibrant, it is the color of vibrance. Devi, or the feminine form of the divine, is the most vibrant form of divine. Something nobody can miss. The reason why, even if there are other bigger temples, in every village, in every town in India, we will set up a Devi temple. You walk into the Devi temple, she hits you in the face, you can't miss it because it's vibrant. The color of vibrance is always red. It doesn't matter what kind of a person you are. If you come dressed in full red clothes, suddenly people will think you're vibrant, even if you're not. Red dress suddenly sets you off like you're vibrant. And to do certain type of sadhana, which is Devi-oriented, red is needed. The most important things in your life are usually red. Your blood is red, it's not red enough, you go down. Flowers are red, the rising sun can become reaching towards red. Anything that you consider as vibrantly alive, you tend to paint it red because there is a connection between red and vibrance. And Devi is manifestation of vibrance that you cannot miss. So, the Devi temples always have very active involvement of red.
You heard of Ramanujam. Ramanujam wrote mathematical theorems a little over 100 years ago. Nobody could decipher what they are. In 2010, they found out some of the theorems that he wrote are actually describing the black holes. When he wrote this in 1910 or 1908, when he wrote this theorem, there was no concept of black hole in the scientific community. But he made a theorem for the black hole. So people asked him, he just sat down on his bed, even on his deathbed, he sat down and simply poured out mathematics. People asked, where is this coming from? He said, my Devi. All I do is appeal to my Devi and it just pours out for me. What these deities are, if they're properly consecrated, if the necessary science has gone into it, is they are windows to the existence. You can open up a certain window and access the cosmos in different dimensions. So for different aspects of life, we created different type of tools or machines. So in India, all deities are also referred to as yantras.